Metro football is on the air on TCI TV10 Sports. Tonight's regular season finale pits Iowa City High against the host Washington Warriors. I'm Mark Nolan along with my broadcast partner Bob James, and tonight's game is crucial for both teams. Both teams come in at 6 wins and 2 losses. One of these teams will go home 7-2 and go to the playoffs. One will go home 6-3 and probably not make the playoffs.
That's right. They'll probably be crossing their fingers to be sure if they do lose this game. You got that tiebreaker, and of course in Class 4A, not as many teams, so you stand a little better chance of getting in, but still with the margin of victory not so great for these two teams in some of their games this year. They'll probably be left out of the playoff hunt with a loss tonight. So this is an absolutely huge game for both teams.
So it all boils down to margin of victory in their previous games if it goes to the tiebreaker. And these teams have played a lot of close games this season.
Of course. And, of course, the number one tiebreaker is head-to-head, which won't matter because these two teams have only played each other once, being tonight.
These teams come in second and third in offense in the Valley. But this game could boil down to who scores last. Of course, City High has Hakeem Hill, one of the most exciting running backs in the state, and Michael Milam for the Warriors, a great two-way player as well.
Indeed. The offenses of both these teams tremendous. The defenses are very nearly the same as well. Milam, you talked about, he's been injured off and on, has had some problems with his leg and ankle. Apparently an MRI was negative. He's expected to play tonight. You got Tony Simmering right behind him, and then Hakeem Hill, who comes from a great football family at City High.
Well, City High is kind of on the skids, only won 2 of their last 4 ball games, while Washington comes in on a 6-game winning streak. So Washington has the momentum. And all of a sudden, with Kennedy's victory over City High last week, the Cedar Rapids School might be achieving some parity with Iowa City.
Indeed, that would be something that this city, actually, for the last decade, it's been something that the Iowa City schools have just dominated with all their championships during the 1990s. So it's going to be a big one tonight, definitely, and we're glad we're here.
Should be a great regular season finale. We'll see who moves on to the playoffs, and we'll be right back with the kickoff after these messages. We'd like to thank all our sponsors who have supported Metro football so well on TCI here this season. Adcraft Printing, The Art Cellar, Boston Fish, Culver's Custard, Chris Eden Realtor, Eden Smothers Goodwin Insurance Agency, Dr. Bradley Christensen Chiropractic, and King's Materials. Great sponsors, been a great season, and we're going to have a great finale. We'll be right back with the kickoff after these messages.
Cedar Rapids, a landlocked city, thousands of miles from any source of fresh seafood. Lucky for you, there's Boston Fish, where their seafood is as fresh as a cold sea breeze.
May I take your order, please?
That's because Boston Fish flies in only the freshest ocean delicacies from around the country, ready to be prepared in your home's favorite seafood dishes. You can also take advantage of their dine-in restaurant and enjoy a hearty meal in a truly coastal atmosphere. Boston Fish, it is so fresh, you'll swear you're on the high seas.
The agony of back and neck pain can sometimes be too much to bear. No matter what position you're in, it's there, tormenting and irritating. Don't allow your suffering to continue. Call this number for relief. Call this number to stop the pain.
Call Dr. Bradley Christensen at 396-6838 to end your pain today.
No matter what you want imprinted, for what, or for who, Adcraft Printing prints on almost anything, anytime, anywhere. They're locally owned and operated and committed to providing you the quality service you deserve. Plus, Adcraft does custom screen printing for your group or event. And don't forget them for your business cards, letterhead, and all your offset printing orders. So when you want your name to stand out above the rest, take it to Adcraft Printing, 309 5th Avenue Southeast.
King's Material, the experts on retaining walls, also carry a wide variety of landscaping products to enhance the beauty of your home. Now you can give your home a distinctive look with decorative wall systems, paving brick, brick chips, and address stones. From simple flower beds to complete landscaping, King's Material provides durable design and elegance with a variety of styles and sizes to fit any budget. Call today or visit our website. King's Material, serving eastern Iowa from 3 locations.
Hi, I'm Chris Eden with Lepic Krager Realtors, and these are Grantview Estates townhomes located in the Dovetail development. The next units to be built will use quality materials supplied by local vendors. Skilled craftsmanship by Gary Worley Construction will make these units comfortable for family or retirement living. The units are located within minutes of elementary schools, the U of I hospitals and clinics, and the Eastern Iowa Airport. For more information on the Grantview Estates townhomes, call me, Chris Eden.
Unique, special, creative. Art Cellar, known for art supplies and framing, also offers creative solutions to custom framing sports memorabilia and collectibles. Art Cellar can help you preserve your memories and personal items in shadow boxes and unique displays. Bring in your photos, cards, posters, awards, medals, jerseys, or any keepsake, and the Art Cellar will design a custom presentation that is one of a kind. Art Cellar, your best choice for creative framing of sports memorabilia in downtown Cedar Rapids.
Back at Kingston, Michael Moran runs back the opening kickoff 50 yards to the midfield stripe, and Michael Milam back in the lineup for the Warriors, and he goes around right in for about 5 yards across the City High 45. They'll spot it just outside the 44-yard line. So the Warriors with great opening field position courtesy of Michael Moran's 50-yard kickoff return. 2nd down and 4 now, just underway at Kingston. First series, and a must-win for both teams. Here goes the handoff to Milam. He'll try the left side this time. Shakes one tackle, but can't get away from Eric Fromm, who brings him down in the backfield, and that'll be a 3-yard loss. Milam tried to cut the corner to the outside, and he may still be bothered by that leg injury. They had an MRI performed on it this week, revealed no hairline fracture, but nonetheless, Milam not at 100%.
And it's interesting that Michael has got the first 2 carries of the ball game because he was not announced as an offensive starter by the PA announcer here. Tyree Patrick was, but indeed Milam is in the game.
3rd and 6 now for the Warriors. Little confusion in the Warrior backfield here, and they're going to have to take a timeout. We'll keep it right here. Game just underway. Following a great kickoff return by Michael Moran, the Warriors ran 2 running plays and are now in City High territory at the Little Hawk 46-yard line. A little confusion on that play call, and the Warriors forced to take a timeout.
Of course, Washington not quite as much of an air attack team as City High is, but as you look down on the field right now and at the flag in the south side, it's a pretty strong wind tonight out of the southwest, kind of shifting to the southeast at times, but it'll definitely affect the passing and kicking games in this game.
Beautiful warm night for October 29th. We've been blessed with a wonderful season here at Kingston, and it is in the 60s at game time, and that's brisk southern wind will be a factor, as you mentioned, Bob.
And hopefully we'll be able to keep the rain away, because I know there is some out in central Iowa. We're trying to wish it away until about 11 o'clock tonight.
3rd and 6 for the Warriors now. Big play on their opening possession. Josh Steger hands off to Milam. He'll try the middle. Penalty flag flies. Milam still on his feet, but stopped well short of the 1st down. They may give him forward progress to about the 44-yard line. Let's see what the penalty flag's all about.
And we have an injured player. I guess he is going to get up. That's Michael Milam. That ankle is already a little gimpy, perhaps. It's interesting, though, on 3rd and long there, we were just talking about the wind and Washington taking that into account, keeping it on the ground.
It is a holding call on the Warriors, and we'll see what kind of decision City High makes here. It'll be 4th and about 4 if they decline the penalty. If they take the penalty, it'll move them back. It looks like they're going to decline the penalty and set up the 4th down situation for the Warriors.
Well, they probably figure with that wind, they'll probably get pretty decent field position as it is. I'm a little surprised, though, with that wind. I don't know, I might have accepted that penalty, pushed them back 10 more yards, and made them throw the football. They might have been able to come up with a turnover. But who knows what might happen with a long snap in these windy conditions as well.
Little Hawks say, we'll take the ball. Hakeem Hill, single set back deep. He'll take his position at about the 10-yard line, but good rush. And there's a flag, roughing on City High, and this will be a Warrior 1st down. Skylar Moss and John Skay in there like a bullet. But give Charlie Donahoe credit, he got the punt off. City High never touched it, and they leveled Charlie Donahoe The stripe brought out his hanky, and that'll be a first down for roughing the punter.
That is a huge play, and City High came very, very close to blocking that punt, but close doesn't do you any good, especially when you rough the kicker, and that's a big, big play here in the early going. Gives a first down to the Warriors, and of course they'll move down within about 10 yards of the red zone right off the bat.
Give Charlie Donahoe credit. He got that punt off in a hurry and took the shot from the Little Hawks as they rushed in. They were in there quickly. Donahoe able to get it off. And the roughing results in a first down for the Warriors inside the Little Hawk 30-yard line at the Iowa City 29. 1st and 10 Warriors. Here's the pitch to Milam. He'll try the right side. Ducks in, gets to about the 25 before he's gang tackled by a host of Little Hawks.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Gang tackled by City High. One of the players there was Grant Elliott. They did a nice job of bottling that up for just about a 3-yard gain. But Washington is getting into scoring real estate, although the field goal will definitely be a tough thing. But I know a couple weeks ago when we were out here, we saw a freshman kicker who can really boot the football.
So Washington has been exclusively Michael Milam here. Here they go to Josh Coffey, and he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage for no gain. Actually thrown back for a loss. Washington had run 4 straight running plays to Milam, and their only offense was courtesy of the penalty flag on roughing the punter. And it'll be 3rd and 7, and the Warriors face another crucial conversion situation.
Devin Smith and Pat Campbell were there to make the stop for City High that time.
Warriors may be in 4-down territory now here. Fake to Milam, play action pass by Steger, looks to go over top, pump fake, got his man.
Nice looking throw that time by Steger, and if he's able to throw across his body there, Michael Milam is wide open on the far side of the field as well, but nevertheless first down, so it doesn't matter.
Kevin Burrell open along the sideline. Steger gets the ball right to him, and Burrell tippy toes out of bounds. Excellent play by the Warriors. 1st and 10 on the Little Hawk 12-yard line. Here's Coffey. No, this is Simmering, excuse me. Tony Simmering in the game now. And he left last week's game with a leg injury. And he's back in action now. So the Warriors pull out their wounded, but at least they suit him up and they see some action. Both Milam and Simmering playing hurt, but contributing.
This is the time of the season where if you're not playing hurt, you're pretty lucky in the 9th game of the season, and there are a lot of wounded players on both sides of the ball tonight.
2nd and 8 now for the Warriors. Handoff goes to Milam. Will try the left side. Got some room. Nice fake by Milam. Pay dirt. Touchdown, Washington Warriors. 12-yard run by Michael Milam.
Well, it looked like John Skay was going to be able to make Milam come back inside, but then Milam kind of gave him a stutter step and went around the left end and into the end zone for 6.
Great fake by Michael Milam. Cut to the outside. 10-yard run to daylight, and the Warriors grab the early lead here. Snap down, kick is up, and it is good. Washington goes on top, 7-0. We'll be right back with the Warrior kickoff after these messages.
Hi, I'm Chris Eden with Lepic Prager Realtors, and these are Grantview Estates townhomes located in the Dovetail development. The next units to be built will use quality materials supplied by local vendors. Skilled craftsmanship by Gary Worley Construction will make these units comfortable for family or retirement living. The units are located within minutes of elementary schools, the U of I hospitals and clinics, and the Eastern Iowa Airport. For more information on the Grantview Estates townhomes, call me, Chris Eden.
Unique, special, creative. Art Cellar, known for art supplies and framing, also offers creative solutions to custom framing sports memorabilia and collectibles. Art Cellar can help you preserve your memories and personal items in shadow boxes and unique displays. Bring in your photos, cards, posters, awards, medals, jerseys, or any keepsake, and the Art Cellar will design a custom presentation that is one of a kind. Art Cellar, your best choice for creative framing of sports memorabilia in downtown Cedar Rapids.
Back at Kingston Stadium, where the Washington Warriors have grabbed an early 7-0 lead, courtesy of a 10-yard touchdown run by Michael Milam. 8:23 to go in the first quarter. Warriors on top, 7-zip.
That's really got the hometown crowd going.
Kickoff. Taken at the 15 and wrestled down. That's Jason Riley and Charlie Donahoe on the coverage.
Tim Triplett was the return man for City High that time, who caught it right around his ankles, and a nice job of making the play and getting a few yards out of it. But certainly not the field position that Washington had to start the game.
Good coverage by the Warriors. City High will take over at their own 23-yard line. They trail 7-0. 8:15 to go in the first period. And here's Hakeem Hill. He's got some daylight. Out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Finally brought down by Tyree Patrick. Rob Myers also in on the stop along with Josh Coffey.
Hill at 5'11", 187's obviously got the speed, but he's also got the strength. You saw him break a couple of tackles on that first down carry.
That'll be an 8-yard gain for Hill. Bring up 2nd and 2 from their own 31. Berry. Hands off to Tim Triplett, and he goes nowhere. Steve James in on the stop for Washington, and he was in the backfield like a shot.
He sure was. He met him almost as soon as he got the football, and you knew there was no way he was going to get away that time.
So that brings up 3rd and 3 now for the Little Hawks. Receivers wide left and right. Handoff goes to Hill. Met at the 30. And this will be close, depending upon the spot of the football. Hill struggled forward to about the 34-yard line, and they immediately signal first down. They spotted outside the 34, so Hakeem Hill picks up the first down for the Little Hawks, and they keep the drive alive.
You know, these are a couple of the best defenses in the Mississippi Valley Conference. City High giving up just under 13 per game. Washington about 15 points per game. And of course, that Washington defensive line has got a couple of the sack leaders in the conference in Burrell and Donahue.
1st and 10 now, Little Hawks. Fake to Hill. Berry back to pass. Got his man over the middle at midfield. That's Eric Fromm. Hauls in Brian Berry's pass, and that'll be another City High first down. Brian Berry showcasing that strong right arm of his, and he put that pass right on the money. Fromm was open in the Warrior zone.
You told me before we hit the air that he has a very strong arm, and he's certainly displayed it there. Reed in on the stop that time for Washington.
Into Warrior territory now at the Washington 48-yard line. 1st and 10 City High. They trail 7-0. 6:15 to go in the first quarter. Handoff goes to Hill. He's got some daylight around the right side, down to almost the 45. It looks like they'll spot it at about the 46. Washington did a good job of bottling up Hakeem Hill after he found some initial daylight.
And Hill did a nice job of following his blocker. As a matter of fact, he put his arm on the blocker for just a moment, followed him, and got a few extra yards out of it that way.
Credit Hill with 3, bring up 2nd and 7 now for City High. Handoff goes to Hill again, and he breaks into the Warrior secondary. Good for another City High first down. City High grinding it out. Had that nice pass to Fromm from Berry, but other than that, it's been all Hakeem Hill.
It sure has, and once again, he displayed his strength there. Steve James was kind of hanging on for dear life and finally was able to bring him down, but City High is just moving those chains consistently on this drive.
1st and 10 Little Hawks at the Warrior 36. Berry back to pass, looks over the middle, and broken up. That's Rob Myers, and almost had the interception.
And he could have had 6 points perhaps if he would have been able to pull that down. Steve Fowler was the intended receiver that time, and the defender broke in front of him as the pass came in. But it fell harmlessly to the turf.
Berry kind of wished that pass out there, and it was right on the money. The problem is Rob Myers was standing there waiting for it. 2nd and 10 now for the Little Hawks. This is the option by Berry. He gets across the 35 down to about the 31-yard line. Good for a pickup of about 5.
Real nice job by Berry that time on the option, too. I know I was finding myself looking around the field trying to figure out who had the football. He did a nice job of kind of bending over at the waist and hiding the ball and then heading upfield with it.
City High has chosen the right side to run most of their rushing plays. Only gone to the left once so far. Big 3rd and 6 now. City High needs to keep the drive alive. Pitch goes to Hill. He looks to the left, shakes one tackler, shakes another, across the 30 down to the 25, and he should have first down yardage.
Well, Reed and Reed and Milam both looked like they might have a shot at the tackle, but finally Keith Burrell, coming over from his linebacker position, actually he's playing on the defensive line, I think, came over all the way to the near side to make the stop.
Here you see Hakeem Hill. Gives a little shake and bake out here in the flat. Gets free. Struggles for that first down yardage to keep the drive alive. 1st and 10 now, Little Hawks at the Warrior 23. 4.5 minutes to go in the first period. City High trails by 7. Here's Hakeem Hill. Breaks into the Warrior secondary again. Still on his feet all the way down to the 10-yard line. And that'll be good for another City High first down. Hakeem Hill running with power on that possession.
And Chris Reed, a defensive back, again making the tackle. And when you have your defensive backs and safeties making tackles on Hakeem Hill, you know you're not doing a real good job up front. City High is just blowing wash off the ball.
1st and goal now inside the 10 for the Little Hawks. They've had no trouble moving the ball on this possession against the Warrior defense. Fake to Hill. They go up top, and they find Triplett, and he's down close to the goal line.
Brian Berry's pass complete to number 11, Tim Triplett.
Tim Triplett, close to the scoring play, but they'll spot it just at the 1 where it'll be 2nd and goal.
Michael Moran and Reed, we keep calling his name again there to make this tackle and hold him out of the end zone by maybe 2 feet. He's inside the 1-yard line.
Who do you think is going to get the ball here, Bob?
I would guess Hill.
Hakeem, oh no, Berry. And he may not, yes, the official signals touchdown City High. 2nd effort there by Brian Berry, kind of backed into the end zone. And City High within a point after of tying this game up.
Don't see the quarterback sneak on 2nd down all that often, but they ran it there, and it certainly worked out for them.
City High will attempt the point after with the wind at their back. Excellent drive by City High. They go 77 yards. The snap is fumbled. Busted play. Looking to go in the end zone and knocked down. So that could be a big conversion missed by City High. Washington retains a 1-point lead at 7-6. We'll be back with the Little Hawk kickoff after these messages.
No matter what you want imprinted, for what, or for who, AdCraft Printing prints on almost anything, anytime, anywhere. They're locally owned and operated and committed to providing you the quality service you deserve. Plus, AdCraft does custom screen printing for your group or event. And don't forget them for your business cards, letterhead, and all your offset printing orders. So when you want your name to stand out above the rest, take it to AdCraft Printing, 309 5th Avenue Southeast.
King's Material, the experts on retaining walls, also carry a wide variety of landscaping products to enhance the beauty of your home. Now you can give your home a distinctive look with decorative wall systems, paving brick, brick chips, and address stones. From simple flower beds to complete landscaping, King's Material provides durable design and elegance with a variety of styles and sizes to fit any budget. Call today or visit our website. King's Material, serving eastern Iowa from 3 locations.
Back at Kingston, Brian Berry's kickoff sails deep into the end zone and indeed through the end zone. So Washington will take over at their own 20-yard line. Warriors on top 7-6. City High with an excellent 77-yard drive for a touchdown. 1-yard run by Brian Berry. But the point after conversion, here you'll see it's a low snap and City High forced to scramble, knocked away in the end zone.
Michael Milam.
Michael Milam, strong safety, knocks away the conversion attempt that would have put City High on top by 1. Instead, the Warriors retain a 1-point lead, 7-6. They've got the ball on their own 20. 3:21 to go in the first period. This is Simmering, Tony Simmering, out to about the 24-yard line, and he appears to be fine. Running the ball well. Milam appears to be picking up steam, so the Warriors might have a little momentum here.
Milam getting a little blow on the sideline right now. Campbell made the defensive stop for City High on that last play, but still, what you want on first down, at least 4 yards, and that's exactly what Simmering got. Looks like we've got an official's timeout. Pat Campbell, maybe after making that tackle, has got a little equipment problem.
Blake Pinckney in the backfield now. Handoff goes to Simmering. He busts across the 30. That'll be a Warrior first down. Excuse me. That's Josh Coffey running hard for Washington.
Washington runs so many backs in and out of there, it's hard to keep track.
Well, they've got a 23 and a 43, a 22 and a 32. That was Josh Coffey, and he picked up first down yardage. 7-yard gain for Coffey. 1st and 10 now at their own 31. Steger with the handoff. This is Simmering out across the 35 to the 36. Credit that Warrior front line. They're opening some holes for the Warrior running backs.
Both teams are playing very well offensively. You know, in these kind of games where you've got 2 great offenses and 2 great defenses, something has to give. And so far, the offenses have ruled the game.
Well, you mentioned, Bob, that they're the 2nd and 3rd ranked defenses in the Valley. That didn't seem to do City High much good last week against Kennedy when the Cougars chalked up 40 points. And now both teams have scored on their opening drives, and Washington moving the ball on their second possession. 2nd and 5 now. Handoff goes to Simmering. He's out across the 40. Struggles up towards the 44-yard line. Tony Simmering running hard for the Warriors, and he picks up another Washington first down.
You said it. Simmering is another one of those guys, like so many in high school football and in the college, they tend to maybe not run quite so hard once they get that big paycheck in the pros, but he was really pumping those legs that time for another big first down. And of course, in just a minute and a half, the wind will be at the back of Washington.
1st and 10 now, Warriors. Handoff this time goes to Coffey, and he is met immediately. That's Matt Rhodes, a sophomore, moved up for the Little Hawks. And Rhodes in there like a shot and brought Coffey down.
And that sophomore team for City High is loaded with talent. As a matter of fact, they haven't lost in 2 years. They won tonight in the sophomore game 37-14. They were 9-0 this year and didn't lose as freshmen last year, so City High has got great things in the years ahead.
2nd and 10 now, no gain for the Warriors. Here comes the pitch. This is Simmering, looks to go outside, cuts inside, cross midfield, fumbles the ball's on the turf, and it looks like City High comes up with the recovery. Tough break for the Warriors. Tony Simmering tackled, and the ball jarred loose as he went down, and City High comes up with the recovery. So that's the first turnover by either team tonight, and we'll see how the Warriors respond on defense.
Well, they certainly got a great field position with the first big break of the game, that big kickoff return, and then the roughing the kicker call against City High on Washington's first drive. But as you said, first turnover of the game.
City High wants a timeout. We'll take one, too. We'll be right back. Well, let's take a look at the fumble here. Here's Tony Simmering, cuts back inside, and there you see the ball popped out by a hit by the helmet. Joe Fowler rips Simmering, hits the ball right with his helmet, jars it loose. Ball on the turf, and the Little Hawks come up with the turnover.
And that gang tackling by City High paid off there, because they had 3 guys who made contact with Simmering at about the same time, and then a 4th man who was right there and able to recover the fumble.
Yeah, they had Simmering torn every which way but loose, and then when that helmet came flying in there and jarred the ball loose, not a lot Tony Simmering could do. You got a feel for the young man.
And absolutely no question that there was no question whether a knee was down or anything like that. It was definitely a fumble that time, and City High with the first turnover of the game, and we'll see what they can do with it. They will be turning around and going into that win pretty quickly.
We mentioned Matt Rhodes, sophomore, moved up to the City High varsity tonight along with Matt Woldrick. You might mention one of their star players, James Holland, is out with a concussion suffered in last week's Kennedy game. 1st and 10 now, Little Hawks. 39 seconds to go in the first quarter. Under pressure, ball up for grabs. Let's see if they call it incomplete. Great defensive pressure by the Warrior front line. Steve James in there. Steven Monseroon in there.
Brown, or Barry, I should say, was hit just as he was throwing the football that time, and of course the Warriors ran after it on defense. You never know what the call might be, and you don't want to take a chance. But indeed, it was incomplete.
Here you see big number 50 jar the ball loose.
That might have been a fumble. That was very, very close.
Anthony Cook also in there on the pressure. The stripe calls it incomplete. Bring up 2nd and 10 now. City High trying to preserve the wind while they've got it. Here's the option. Pitch goes to Hill. He's got some running room around the right side. Finally brought down by Michael Moran after a big pickup. Good for about 13 yards, Hakeem Hill.
Barry did a terrific job on the option that time. He had all kinds of blue jerseys coming at him from behind, but pitched it at just the right time.
There you see a great pitch to Hill. And he turns the corner. Michael Moran sticks his head in there and does bring him down. Brian Johnson shaken off by Hill as he went around the corner.
You know, I've been talking so much about the wind, but both these teams are doing it on the ground.
5 seconds to go. This will be the last play of the quarter. Triplett goes in motion, and they don't get the play off. That'll be the quarter. So we'll be right back with the second quarter. Warriors on top, 7-6 over the Little Hawks. We'll be right back after these messages.
Do you know how gets there from the without tasting like? That's right. Boston Fish Market has the freshest seafood around because they fly it in directly from the coast. So whether it's lobster, fish, or shrimp, if it's from Boston Fish Market, it tastes like it was just caught out of the ocean. Boston Fish also has a dine-in restaurant where you can enjoy a hearty sit-down meal in a truly coastal atmosphere. So hop in your and drive to Boston Fish Market today.
When you need quality printing done right and done fast, take it to AdCraft Printing, Cedar Rapids' best. They handle professional signage and banners for business and industrial use, plus custom labeling on just about anything. AdCraft also does business cards, letterhead, menus, any offset printing your business requires. In addition, they're locally owned and operated and committed to providing you with the exceptional service you know and deserve. So stop in and find out for yourself why so many people are using AdCraft Printing as their printer of choice.
Back at Kingston with Metro Football here on TCI TV 10. I'm Mark Nolan along with my broadcast partner Bob James. And the Washington Warriors out on top 7-6 after one quarter of play. But courtesy a Warrior turnover, City High inside Washington territory just outside the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 Little Hawks. Triplett goes in motion. Barry hands off to Hakeem Hill. He's across the 40, cuts back inside. Brought down at the 37-yard line. Jake Wilward in on the stop, along with Josh Coffey.
Well, Hill is second in the conference in scoring with some 15 touchdowns, 3 behind Terrence Freeney from Cedar Falls. And of course, he's second in the conference in rushing at almost 140 yards per game. And if the first quarter is any indication, he's well on his way to that again tonight.
Picked up 3 on that carry. That'll bring up 2nd and 7. Little Hawks headed into the win now. They ran a couple of nice pass plays in the first period, but now Barry back to pass. Wind doesn't affect him there. Complete. That's Steve Fowler with the catch, and that'll be good for another City High first down. Barry throwing against his body into the wind across the wide side of the field and hit Fowler right on the numbers.
Josh Coffey there defensively, and Brian Johnson came up and really laid a lick on him to make sure he didn't get any more forward progress. And that was the kind of hit where the receiver was struggling for extra yardage, where the football sometimes pops out.
First and 10 Little Hawks inside the Warrior 30 at the Washington 28-yard line. Just under 11 minutes to go in the first half. Warriors on top 7-6, but Little Hawks on the move. This time the handoff goes to Matt Woldrick, sophomore running back brought up for the tonight's varsity game. And Woldrick rumbles and stumbles and staggers a little bit and actually thrown for about a 1-yard loss. Lost his footing as he attempted to get around the right corner.
Yeah, he had a little trouble getting one foot ahead of the other there. I think they'll give Anthony Cook credit for the tackle that time, but he was more than anything just touching a player who was already down.
Could be a little sophomore jitters in the big game. And this is a big game for both teams. As we mentioned in the pregame, the loser probably goes home for the good. Berry back to pass again on second down and overthrows his man. Intended for Steve Fowler out there. And that's the first pass from Berry we've seen off the mark tonight. He may have overcompensated for that stiff breeze out of the south.
That's exactly what I was going to say, trying to throw it a little extra hard, and the wind got underneath of it a little bit perhaps. Certainly not a catchable pass that time for Phelan. No, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong roster for Fowler.
Third down and 11 now for City High. This is the longest conversion they've had to attempt going so far in the game. This time the fake to Woldrick, play action pass. Berry back to pass. Stephen Monserud and Jake Willward in there like a shot. They sack Berry. He never had a chance. Stephen Monserud, Jake Willward with the double team sack on Brian Berry. And City High will be forced to punt.
And that is an absolutely huge play because it moves City High out near the 40-yard line. And with that wind, a chance now for Washington to get a lot better field position.
Here you see Stephen Monserud right in there. Slows down Berry. Jake Willward finishes him off. And tag team tandem for the Warriors. And they take City High out of scoring position and force the punting situation. Excellent defensive stand by the Warriors. Low snap. Punt is away, hung up by the wind. Gets a Little Hawk bounce inside the 15, be spotted at the Warrior 14. So pretty good results, even though that punt skied in the air, was held up by the wind. It bounced end over end and got the City High bounce. But the Warrior defense gets a big hand as they come off the field. Washington will take over on their own 14, still leading 7-6.
I think that punt actually went about 10 yards in the air, but got a big roll downfield. So Washington out at about the 15-yard line, and on that last play, Berry really didn't have anywhere to go due to the fact that 2 Washington defensive linemen were able to get in there. There was really nowhere for him to go to avoid the sack that time.
A little bit of confusion on the Warrior offense this time. They've got 11 men on the field. Michael Milam split out at wide receiver. And here's Simmering. Tries to get outside, across the 15, finally pushed out of bounds across the 20-yard line. Good gain for Tony Simmering there. Michael Milam spotted at a flanker along with Michael Moran at the wide receiver, and might have been somewhat of a decoy. They just pitched the ball to Simmering, and he was able to pick up 7 for the Warriors.
And Washington's got to be feeling pretty good right now. You always, when you're playing against the wind, try and play even and then take advantage of having the wind, and we'll see if they open the offense up a little more now.
2nd and 3, 9 minutes to go in the half. Warriors on top 7-6. Handoff goes to Michael Milam. He cuts to the outside, cross to 25, and he'll have the first down for the Warriors. Good second effort by Michael Milam, kept his legs churning and got across the 25 and picked up the first down for Washington.
Michael's another one of those tough runners. Grant Elliott and others were there that time for City High, but as you said, it's another Washington first down. We were expecting a good game, and we've certainly got it so far.
Warriors need to pick up a couple of first downs and give their defense a rest. They've spent a lot of time on the field here in the first half, and they've got to avoid another turnover.
Especially down here at the 25-yard line.
1st and 10 now, Warriors. Full house backfield. First man through gets the handoff. And that's Josh Coffey. And he picked up about 3 yards.
Josh is one of those guys who kind of can hide from you. He's not the biggest guy in the backfield, but he certainly gets those yards. He lists at 5'10", 185, about the same height as Simmering. Actually, Simmering is a little shorter, but it doesn't look like it from way out here.
2nd and 7 now, Warriors on their own 28-yard line. Pitch goes to Milam. He's across the 30. He's brought down by Eric Fromm and Grant Elliott, short of a Warrior first down, and it'll bring up 3rd and a long 3.
Well, this is the situation earlier. The Washington had about the same distance to go, and they kept the ball on the ground, and it was a holding penalty, as I recall. City High refused it and then got the football, or would have, but of course there was the roughing the kicker back at that time.
Handoff goes to Milam, and he stopped short of the first down. Needed to get across the 35 and stopped at about the 34. So that'll force Washington into a punting situation here. Still quite deep in their own territory.
And I think you have to give Grant Elliott the credit for the tackle that time, and Milam with that head of steam buildup, and Elliott just stopped him cold when the two met and will hold him short of the first down.
Coach Steve James playing it, Paul James playing it close to the vest. Steve James is Coach Paul James' son. Close to the vest with the running play on 3rd and a long 3. They give it to Milam, and he does not pick up the first down. Donahue forced to punt. Here's the snap. Rushed by the Little Hawks. Good kick by Donahoe. Way over the head of Hakeem Hill, and it stops inside the 5. Down by the Warriors at the 2-yard line. Holy moly. Brian Benz down there to down the ball. That ball looked like it was headed for the end zone, but took a left turn at the 5-yard line. And the Warriors, with great field position, punt coverage, give Charlie Donahoe credit. He kicked that baby about 70 yards.
It was a 72-yarder, I think, from the 24-yard line. Wow. Or from the 26-yard line, I should say, but what a roll. I thought it was going into the end zone.
And he just tried to get it up in the wind and let the wind do the work. It was kind of like a sidearm pitcher. Yeah. You could see he kicked it kind of side-footed. Woldrick. Stopped by Blake Pickney right at the 5-yard line, so City High kind of out of a hole a little bit. 3-yard gain, that'll bring up 2nd and 7. 6 minutes to go now in the first half, and Washington on top 7-6. And the Little Hawks are pinned deep in their territory, courtesy of a Charlie Donahoe punt, all the way down to the Little Hawk 2. So Charlie Donahoe's done an excellent job on both his punts, picked up a first down for the Warriors on one that led to a touchdown. Here's Woldrick again. Gets across the 5, out to about the 8-yard line. And a dangerous pitch there. He took it deep in his own end zone. And Matt Woldrick showing some good quickness out across the 5 to the 8. Still be 4 yards short of a Little Hawk first down.
And this is a huge defensive play coming up for Washington right here. They want to start playing field position football, and if they can stop City High here, they should get the ball probably out around the 40-yard line, if not even better than that.
City High going into a stiff breeze out of the south. 3rd and 4, you'd think this be a passing down, but deep in their own territory. And that looks like a City High first down. That was Woldrick again, so Woldrick gets the ball on all 3 carries of that possession, and good for a City High first down. Hill playing the role of decoy.
Indeed, I was just scanning the sideline to see if he's even been in the football game, but he's in there.
1st and 10 now from their own 15. 4:40 to go in the half. Handoff goes to Hill, and he's tackled immediately, line of scrimmage, no gain.
Those 2 decoy plays didn't help that time. They knew Hill was going to get the football, and as soon as he did, they were grasping at that jersey in a very short gain.
Clock continues to run here. The Little Hawks deep in their own territory. You wonder if they just want to run the clock out and go into the locker room. 4 minutes, 15 seconds left, but at the rate they're going, the clock will run out before they get to the end zone. Play action pass. Barry back. Does go to the air. Oh, great catch by Eric Fromm, all the way out to the 31-yard line, and that's another Little Hawk first down. They might have lulled the Warriors to sleep a little bit with the rushing game. Play action there from Barry. Found his man Fromm with pinpoint precision.
Well, one thing about it, Washington can't take it for granted that City High is going to keep it on the ground even into the wind, because they have quite the passing game. Barry leads the conference, and he averages over 150 yards per game through the air.
1st and 10 now, Little Hawks at their own 31-yard line. Handoff, fake to Hill. There's a fumble. Warriors end up with the ball. That's Charlie Donahoe, picked the fumble up on the bounce and tried to get in the end zone. Finally brought down inside the 10 at the Little Hawk 7. Here's the replay. Here's the errant pitch by Barry, attempting to go to Woolrich and threw it behind him. Watch Donahoe pick this ball up on the bounce, the second bounce, stumbling and staggering, finally brought down there by Brian Barry, but the Warriors will have the ball 1st and goal at the Little Hawk 7.
And it's interesting that that happened on that option pitch, because they did it back near the end zone earlier, and you said that was a very dangerous pitch, and that time it came back to bite him.
3.5 minutes to go. This is Semmering down across the 5. And now the turnovers are even, and this one could hurt even more.
Now it turns from a big defensive stand for Washington to one for City High at the same time. They do not want to give up 6 here.
Semmering limping a little bit as he comes to the sideline. 2nd down and goal now from the 5. 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Plenty of time for the Warriors, and they want to put some more points on the board before they head for the locker room. Here goes a handoff to Milam. Tries the left side. Struggles down inside the 3. Pat Campbell with the shoestring tackle that kept Milam out of the end zone. Great effort by Michael Milam there, though. You could tell he could smell the end zone.
It was kind of reminded me a little bit of the Iowa game last weekend. It looked like the opening to get the 6 points was there, and last week it closed down for Mullen, and that time it closed down for Milam.
3rd and goal now from the 2. Full house backfield again for the Warriors. Hand off to Milam again, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Michael Milam. The Warriors go on top 13-6. Michael Milam broke across the right side and hit pay dirt for the Warriors.
And Washington has taken advantage of every opportunity they've gotten. The turnover here, they turned it into 6 points. Earlier, it was the roughing the kicker call. They turned that into 7 points, and we'll see if this turns into 7.
Kick is up, and it's good. Michael Hertzberger, the freshman 9th grader, converts the extra point. Warriors on top 14-6. We'll be right back with a Washington kickoff after these messages.
It's where you live, what you will always think of as home, and it should look like your dreams. Make those dreams come true with help from the experts at King's Material. Imagine adding beauty and value to your home with the strength and durability of a King's wall system. Or choose the contemporary design and dramatic shadows of Keystone. A retaining wall system from King's Material is the economical way to customize your home and make it stand out from the rest. Call King's Material today, serving Eastern Iowa from 3 locations.
Unique, special, creative. Art Cellar, known for art supplies and framing, also offers creative solutions to custom framing sports memorabilia and collectibles. Art Cellar can help you preserve your memories and personal items in shadow boxes and unique displays. Bring in your photos, cards, posters, awards, medals, jerseys, or any keepsake, and the Art Cellar will design a custom presentation that is one of a kind. Art Cellar, your best choice for creative framing of sports memorabilia in downtown Cedar Rapids.
Michael Hertzberger set to kick off for the Warriors. They're on top by 8. 14-6, 2 minutes, 19 seconds to go in the half. Low screaming liner. Bobbled, but taken at his own 17. That's Jeff Gilmore. And wrestled down at the 25-yard line by Jason Riley for the Warriors. And we can't say how instrumental Charlie Donahue has been in this 14-6 lead for Cedar Rapids, Washington. He drew the roughing the punter penalty to set up the first Warrior touchdown. Then he kicks the ball 70 yards on the Warriors' last possession to pin City High deep at their 3. They turn the ball over. Donahue recovers the fumble on the bounce, gets it down to the 7, and the Warriors punch it in. Berry going for broke and throws it out of bounds. You can see Brian Berry with a strong arm there, threw it 40 yards in the air, out of bounds at the sidelines into a pretty strong win.
And that was one of those balls that if it didn't go out of bounds, it was pretty much anybody's because of the amount of air underneath of it. He threw it very high that time, but it falls harmlessly into the Washington bench.
Well, now City High in a position where they trail by 8. They only trailed by 1 prior to the turnover, and they were moving the ball until that errant pitch from Berry to Woldrick, recovered by Donahue. 2nd and 10 now, 2 minutes, 6 seconds to go in the half. From their own 25, Berry back to pass again, straight drop back, looks to go over the middle, and almost picked off. Ball thrown a little bit behind Adam Fleming, and Chris Reed almost had that ball.
I think Michael Moran might have got a hand on it as it was coming through. We've been calling Reed's name an awful lot tonight, and we almost called it for a interception right there. Actually, it wasn't Moran who tipped it, but there was another defensive back who did get a paw on it before the ball went off the hands of Reed.
3rd and 10 now for City High, 2 minutes to go. Warriors can make a stand here. They'll have a chance at putting some more points on the board. Berry back to pass again. Finds his man, but he's out of bounds. John Skay caught the Berry pass, but he was across the out of bounds marker, and the stripe says incomplete. City High will be forced to punt on 4th and 10.
And that was a tremendous effort that time by Skay, diving over there along the sideline, trying to make that catch, which would have been, if not a first down, extremely close. So Washington will get the ball back, and they've got a couple of timeouts to use in a little under 2 minutes.
And the Warrior defense again gets a big hand from the crowd.
These long snaps have been kind of interesting so far for City High.
Snap is good. Punt up, drops at the 50, and rolls out of bounds at the Warrior 48. So a decent punt there by City High, but with a $1:45 to go on the clock, Washington's got plenty of time to put some more points on the scoreboard before halftime.
That wind, another instance right there, we see how strong it is. It looked like a very good kick, and considering the wind, it kind of went from an end over end to a spiral right in midair.
Excellent half of football here. After scores on the first 2 possessions, the defenses seem to have stiffened, and then a City High turnover turns into 7 for Washington, and that's the difference in the game. They're up by 8 at 14-6. Play action, Steger back to pass, a lot of time. Looking for Steve James, and it's picked off. John Skay, who was the intended receiver on the last pass along the sideline, does haul this one in, inbounds, and Steger just threw that ball up for grabs. There was triple coverage by City High. Never should have thrown that ball. Warriors had plenty of time, and Steger tried to force that one. And there's the second Warrior turnover of the game. Here's Steger. Nice play fake. Lots of time. Just really forced his pass. Should have just thrown it out of bounds, because that ball's up for grab like a wounded duck. And Skay just camps under it. We're a couple of Warriors in the neighborhood, but there are too many City High Little Hawks to throw that ball. New quarterback in the game now, Skylar Moss. So Larry Brown puts Brian Berry on the bench, and Skylar Moss now in at quarterback with 1:21 to go. And City High desperately trying to make something happen here before the intermission.
Moss has appeared in 4 games for City High so far this year, so he gets to see action in a 5th.
Here's Hakeem Hill, breaks into the Warriors secondary, still on his feet, out across the 40 to the 43, and that will be a Little Hawk first down.
Still plenty of time, of course. The clock stops with the first down, and there's still a couple timeouts left for City High.
We haven't seen a lot of Hill in the second quarter. First and 10 now, 50 seconds to go. Play action again. Moss back to pass. And I don't know who that was intended for, but it was not even close. Bounces harmlessly to the turf. And we've got a penalty. Late, very late flag. Let's see what the call is here.
It looked like a Washington player might have pushed down a City High player, and City High was celebrating when the flag went down, so you got to believe it's going to be against the Warriors.
Personal foul, and that's a big mistake.
Keith Burrell got in on the quarterback that time and did a terrific job. He didn't go for the fake at all, and Barry's coming back into the ball game now that they've got a couple of first downs, it looks like.
And this will be a big 15-yarder all the way down to the Warrior 42-yard line. And what a bonehead play there.
Those are the kind of mistakes you certainly can't afford to make in any game, but definitely not when you're playing a team like City High.
First and 10 Little Hawks, 45 seconds to go. New life here after the Washington defense had stymied City High. Now Barry back in again. Goes for broke. And it's caught. Looks like a touchdown, but we've got a penalty flag. Steve Faller up there with Michael Moran, and Faller won the jump ball, but the stripe rings up City High for holding, and that negates a beautiful play by the Little Hawks.
Indeed it does. You really feel bad for both Faller and Barry, who both made terrific plays. It was a wonderful pass, and Faller went high to get it over the defender, and nevertheless, it'll come back and it'll move City High back near the 50-yard line. If not, actually, they'll be back even further than that in their own territory after the penalty.
Tough break for the Little Hawks, who would have had a chance to tie it without that holding penalty. A magnificent pass from Brian Barry, who's now back in at quarterback, to Faller. Faller in a jump ball situation with Michael Moran. Faller wins, but negated by the holding penalty. Little Hawks all the way back to their own 45-yard line. First and 23 now. 35 seconds to go. Nothing doing. Hakeem Hill tackled at the line of scrimmage, no gain.
That Washington defense now knows that they're probably not going to put the ball in the air. Don't want to certainly go with a long pass that might cause another turnover here, although City High is going to take a timeout, so that makes you wonder what they might do offensively.
We'll take one, too. We'll be right back with the last 25 seconds after these messages.
Shakes and bacon.
Hey, all you burger lovers.
Shakes and bacon.
Here's something real fresh.
Shake, shake,
Real ice cream parlor shakes and fresh, juicy burgers. Nobody serves cheeseburgers like Culver's Bacon Butter Burger Deluxe with a real custard shake or malted on the side.
Shakes and bacon.
Culver's frozen custard. Whole lot of value going on.
Ooh, shaking.
I didn't think I would ever feel good again after my car accident. But thanks to my chiropractor's effective and gentle treatment, my back and neck pain are now gone for good. He even accepted my insurance. Because of chiropractic care, I feel great, and so can you.
Don't live with pain. Call Dr. Christensen today at 396-6838.
Back at Kingston, Brian Barry going for the long one. Picked off by Michael Moran. He's got it at his own 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Cuts back inside, up to midfield. What a return by Michael Moran. 8 seconds to go in the first half, and that stops the City High drive.
Was that Willie Mays? What a catch. And then he was able to circle and avoid the defender. It was a nice block down there by Rob Myers.
Stumbles, pulls it in, all the way back to his own 5, out to the 10, and he's just got a full head of steam here, and this will give the Warriors a chance for a couple of long balls and see if they can get some more points on the board before they have. Great return by Michael Moran, and the Warriors want a timeout.
It's been kind of dangerous on that Washington sideline here in the first half.
Been a lot of action over there. We'll keep it here. Boy, this is an important game, and with the Warriors on top 14-6, this would be the first playoff appearance since Paul James took over for Wally Sheets as head coach.